Welcome to another conversation off the clock. Hi, I'm Carmina Constantino Torres, and this is Casey After Hours.
I wanted to be a fashion designer. Yun yung totoo. I was bullied in college, no, by a group of girls. Matapang, hindi yun yung tunay kong pagkatao. If you are real, make me forgive and love my father. They didn't want me admitting that David had autism. Nahiya sila.
To survive in an industry as demanding as journalism, that's no walk in the park. But to actually thrive in it, that's a feat only a few are able to do. Katulad na lamang ng susunod nating makakausap. I mean, think of the biggest stories and she's there. But think of the toughest moments in a woman's life and she's also there. But where is she headed now? She's entering a new season in her life and she's bringing us along with her. Let's all welcome Karen Davila. Karen, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for spending your afternoon with us.
Thank you for having me, Casey. Really, and what a beautiful home.
Well, thanks so much. Wait, before we go on with the podcast, what has life been lately? What's been keeping you busy?
I'm at this time of my life wherein it's work, family, advocacy work has taken a bigger role because of UN Women, and it's also a mix of planning to move to the next chapter, which I don't know yet, but it's really growth.
Did you ever think that you would end up here, where you are right now?
Alam mo, Casey, sa totoo, I wanted to be a fashion designer. Yun yung totoo. So, idol ko noon si Donna Karan in the 1980s, and I can actually draw. And what happened was, so my dream was to go to Parsons School of Design in New York. So after high school, I applied for a full scholarship there, and na-reject ako. And I thought my life would be over. So I went to UP Diliman, and I was thinking, ano bang dapat ko i-take up? Nung una, fine arts, sabi ng tatay ko, please, parang awa, kung hindi ka ganun kagaling, mahirap ang buhay mo. So, I'm not great in math, so I took up mass comm. Although in high school, I was the editor, etc. But when I took up mass comm, it was only a professor that told me, you should do the news because you speak well. I never thought of entering television.
Okay.
Really?
When you were rejected, that was it for you. You weren't even thinking, okay, I'll just park this and then I'll get back to it. Maybe they're not ready for me yet. Baka ganon. Or when something closes, that's it forever. You don't go back to it anymore.
I think because during that time, alam mo, Casey, when I was growing up, my parents were financially hard up. So, my father lost his job. I think I shared this in schools nung namatay si Ninoy Aquino.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult for the country economically. So they had very small businesses. So my priority being the eldest was ayoko maging pabigat sa mga magulang ko.
Yeah.
So I felt that mass comm was a place a course that I could shine, that I would enjoy, but I didn't know where it would take me. So I'm a believer in also trusting in God's plan for your life. Kumbaga, destiny. Minsan kasi, yung akala natin na para sa atin, magugulat ka na mas may magandang plano para sa'yo. So you have to allow it. Allow it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
So you were never questioning why this was so, why this
wow,
happened?
no. When I got rejected for a scholarship abroad, I thought my life would be over.
Yeah.
Ang tagal kong iyak ng iyak. But wala eh, you know, I have grit. I mean, I think when you're built for survival, what you need to do is just move on and you do what you need to do.
Grit is different though from being stubborn.
Yeah.
Diba? Iba yun eh.
Iba yun.
When did you know that it was grit that you had in you and not stubbornness?
There were two things. My dad told me noon, nung papapunta na ako ng college, he said, alam mo Karen, there is the only barrier to you and success is you. You cannot blame anybody. Kapag ikaw, if you fail, you can't look at other things. You just have to look at what your role is in that. So, one yon. Number two, my mother told me, Karen, wala akong mapapamana sa yung alahas, pera, lupa, pero if you finish your schooling, you can be anything you want to be, but nothing will be served to you on a silver platter. So parang I knew that I wasn't entitled to anything. So I think that was the mental resilience that I had when I started my career, which was in GMA 7, by the way. And then eventually I moved to ABS. So I've been on television because I'm older than you, Casey, by 5 years. So I've been on television already now, I would have to say mga 33, 34 years.
Yeah. Ours is a very hurtful
Yes.
industry.
Yeah.
How are you able to take that in? Kasi una, it's thankless. Thankless na nga yung trabaho natin. Hurtful pa siya at times.
Yeah.
So when those times would come, how do you deal with that?
You know, I've experienced it. I mean, we all do in our workplaces, no. But I think with me, I would the word I'd say is I would suck it up.
You grin and bear it?
Grin and bear it. Parang sa Tagalog, hindi ako magrereklamo. I'll work harder kasi yung default system ko, if I was bullied in college, no, by a group of girls, but I don't have that victim mentality. Meron akong, the more it gets difficult for me, the more I do what I need to do.
Oo. But taking in the lesson in that moment.
Yes.
Ganun ba yun?
Yes. I think now that I'm turning 55, I realize also that I have a lot, you know, I came to a period of mindfulness and awareness now in my 50s. So a lot of the times when I was younger, I would be responding from childhood trauma.
Yeah.
You know, you feel you're not liked. Ayaw ko ng taong to. Siguro there's something wrong with me. So I would be very defensive in my dealings. And when you move to a period of healing, and a part of it also because I'm a born-again Christian, but other than your faith in the Lord, you also have to do the work.
Yeah.
So I did the effort to also do the work for healing. So I change my default system reactions na, ay galit to sa akin, ayaw ako nito, ayaw ako ng taong to. Kasi pag gano'n, nagiging defensive tayo and then you put up a wall.
Right.
Right.
Or parang you just live to please.
Yes, I've been there because I didn't want people to be upset with me. Parang my television persona or yung DZMM persona ko noon na parang tumitira, matapang, hindi yun yung tunay kong pagkatao. Yung tunay kong pagkatao is ako yung pacifier, I want to please people, ayokong may magalit, and it's how I am in my personal affairs. Yeah. Oo.
But then when you hit your 50s,
yes,
and when you came to know yourself, and when you came to know, you know, the power of mindfulness and the power of self, how was that liberating for you?
You know, I'm still a work in progress. I have to say, I believe that we carry whatever, both the good and the bad from our childhood all the way into adulthood and our choices, right?
Down to our children pa,
Down,
diba?
I think I'm in the process of focusing really on inner development and self-reflection. Parang, as a Christian, I want to be the most I can to be like Christ, which means a complete remolding of my thinking, my way of thinking, the condition of my heart, everything. So it takes a lot of humility to be able to ask the Lord, that's my prayer, Lord, break my heart that I become a new person for you.
Every single day.
Yes, every single day, because alam nyo, at the end of the day, ako feeling ko, I've already lived 2/3 of my life, 'di ba? The 1/3 is what's left, and I want to live it, you know, we've lived the first parts of our lives for ourselves, whether it's to help our family, to have a career, 'di ba? To make a name for yourself, kung ano man ang dahilan, no? Umangat sa buhay, whatever. But I think at this part of my life where we've been extremely blessed professionally, I want to be able to live a life that really glorifies the Lord in the eyes of my children, my husband, and with the audience that God has given me.
You're a generous person.
Wow, thank
No,
you.
because I have to tell you, our viewers, when I first talked to Karen about, this podcast, this little community that we have, that one thing that she told me, she said, this is what you said. You said, go for it. You'll enjoy it. And coming from someone within the industry, diba, I didn't expect that kind of support.
Yeah, and look at you now.
But the thing is, you're very supportive and you're
thank
generous.
you.
And when you talk to, you see the interviews about your friends and all that, you have a generous spirit. So why is it that? What is there seems to be a disconnect, but obviously there's none when it comes to how you're living your life now. Where is that generosity coming from?
Well, I think number one, I won't claim anything for myself, but I'm the eldest in my family. So as the eldest, even when we had problems at home, I was in charge of making sure my younger sister and my younger brother, that we all would be okay together. And my parents are both alive, so they know that I'm speaking, because they watch YouTube, so that I'm speaking out of love, because I love my mom and dad. But I think that this comes from knowing that I would be responsible early on. So, for example, yung una kong sweldo, which was 5,000 pesos, in GMA 7 minus tax ng 10%, 4,500. A bulk of it was already shared at home. And I don't want people to think, ay, nagpapaawa si Karen. Hindi po ganon. I come from a middle class family. We're very middle class. We live in a subdivision in Parañaque. A middle class family that went through hard times. Yes. So, mas nakakaangat ako sa marami nating kababayan na talagang dapang-dapa. But I always want to share this because I think it gives women and people hope that everything you experience is temporary.
Yes.
All this shall pass, right? There's that a phrase. So that's one. And number two, I also experienced the generosity of friends when I needed it in high school or in college. I saw it in my own life that when people were kind, they were kind to me. I think that that's the way we should live. Diba? Generosity kasi isn't only money. I do believe that if people are in need, wag naman advice ang ibigay mo. Tumulong ka na. Ang daming ways to be generous.
Yeah. So you're paying it forward.
I think it's, and I don't mean to sound religious, but everything I am today is only by God's grace. Because I think the real person who I am, I think I would be, naiyak ako, I think I would be selfish, I would be bitter or mean or cruel. But I think dahil ang bait ng Panginoon sa buhay ko, so it's because I know the Lord that I live knowing the Lord. I wanted to share, I became a Christian, and it's a whole journey, is when I couldn't forgive my father because they were always fighting noon. I told Jesus Christ, if you are real, make me forgive and love my father. It wasn't a request.
It was a demand.
If you are real, Lord,
Yeah.
make me forgive him kasi hindi ko kaya. Kasi it was very toxic growing up. But it happened. And that's why I believe in the power of God's love for everyone.
Yes.
is because when you ask the Lord, He will give you what you ask for. And my dad, my mom, our family, we have a great relationship. It's happy, considering what we all went through growing up.
Why are you not shy when it comes to your faith? Why are you so generous in sharing how He has worked into your life, on your life, your family?
Because I've seen the miracles in my life so many times. Just in recent years, my older son David has autism. He is in the autism spectrum. Nung ipinanganak siya, my mom, that was 2002, mga relatives, they didn't want me admitting that David had autism. Nahiya sila.
Huh?
Oo, because today is 2025.
Yeah.
But in the past, let's say, 2004, he would be 2 years old. You know, the older generation would feel ashamed, right?
Yeah.
Yung mga matatanda na po nating, alam mo yun, kamag-anak.
May mali, diba?
Oo, parang may problema. Oo. So, in one of my Head Start interviews, I interviewed Amy Tan, the author of the Joy Luck Club.
Yes.
And she said, she was so ashamed of her mother in the beginning kasi migrant siya eh. So nung pumunta silang San Francisco, yung nanay niya hindi marunong mag-English. And she, of course, was a baby, so doon na siya lumaki. So she was Americanized. And she said, when I was ashamed of my own story, I did not succeed. When I embraced my whole story, that's when I became free and I succeeded. So I've thought about that, and I realized we need to own and embrace our own story because it's what makes us who we are. The miracles, for example, David just recently, I mean a few years back, had a full-blown grand mal seizure. Nahulog po sa sahig, sa labi ng kondo, as in tumitirik ang mata. Akala ko mamamatay na. And all I could do was pray. When somebody's having a seizure, I never knew you can't do anything. Diba? So I said, Lord, you know what? You can save my son. Then I felt a voice that said, but what if I don't want to? Will you still praise me? And I said, right that moment, Lord, if you choose to take him, make me still love you, Lord. Parang, and it was in the middle of the seizure. And ang nangyari noon is, David was saved, right? And the Lord told me, kasi medyo pasensya na po kayo, but hindi ko naman sasabing pinabayaan, but hinayaan ko siya to eat junk food, whatever. And I'm a believer that for autism, you really need to clean the gut of the child. Number one. Number two, nasa treadmill, tumatakbo, nahulog, nagka-seizure, nasalo ko. Number three, nasa gym, nagka-seizure, nasalo ulit nung trainer. And all of that, you can choose to see everything as God's hand or not. I chose to really remember and see that. I keep telling David, which you should interview him one day, is David, look how God loves you. He has saved you each and every time. Yung mga tao namamatay sa seizure dahil nababagok ang ulo. Hindi po sila namamatay sa seizure itself. Pero pag nahulog, yung ulo basag. Yun all the time. So that's one. Number two, I mean, Casey, my family, the reconciliation of my parents. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having separated parents. Please don't think that way. It has to happen for some families, but I don't think my family, my father and mother, and how we are would be this way if not for the Lord's grace. Number three, the healing of us as children. We could be hating our parents. Pwede kaming galit. Pwede kaming nag-aaway magkakapatid. And yet, the Lord has put us in a situation where my sister is very successful. My brother has found redemption with his new marriage. He became a clinically depressed, and my makeup artist Nicole knows this, she was there, but it's all the healing that I have seen in my family. And I credit that all to God's grace. I don't think, wow, the brilliance of a Karen or somebody, or alam mo, lahat tayo masama ugali natin kahit pa paano.
Oo
Di ba?
naman. Ako, wag na natin ulitin dito yung sinasabi ko. Pero, totoo
Diba?
naman. Oo.
We will respond out of anger, out
Yeah.
of gante.
Oo. Hindi naman siguro sa masama yung ugali, but we're all human.
We're all human.
We're all human.
Yeah.
You know, we react differently to different
Yes.
situations, diba? Any story of autism begins with that shock and
Yeah.
that sadness and the fear. They say that at 2 years old, that's when it shows itself.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you see the gap widening and widening
Yes.
and widening. And then you don't see your son anymore.
Yeah.
But you strived. You worked so hard. Early intervention. Did the research. You didn't want to let go of that connection. So that now, when you saw David hold his exhibit, do his internship, talk to your friends,
Yeah.
hold conversations. I mean, that's another miracle right there.
Yes. And first, you know, I've been a working woman and wife and mother all my life.
Yeah.
So I never had the pleasure, I would say, of really staying home and rearing my children full time, because it's also what I saw in my mother. You know, she was working the whole time. But with David, ang una ko napansin, when he was in the playground at 2 years old, lahat naglalaro. Pero siya, mag-isa lang siya, nasa sulok na awa ako sa anak ko. So, I felt, baka tahimik siya kasi yung asawa ko, si DJ, sobrang tahimik. Baka ganun lang yon. And then one day, one of my closest friends, Small Laude, who owns a school in Green Hills Learning Center before, she had lunch with me, and David was having a tantrum sa kabilang table. Sabi ni Small, Karen, you know, please don't get mad, but I think there's something wrong with David.
Yeah.
You know, it's very hard for friends to do that, lalo na sa anak ng kaibigan mo, ng ibang tao.
Because you feel like it's
Oh my
not
gosh,
in your
oo.
place. Diba?
Sabi ko, what do you mean? Hindi, ganyan lang yan. Sabi ko, spoiled. Kasi nag-iisa siya. Kaya yan, iyak ng iyak. Ganun siya. Then, Small said, Karen, no. When kids are like that, they can't express themselves. Would it be all right? Please see this doctor. And, you know, hindi ako nagalit kay Small. You need humility din eh.
Yeah.
Dapat may sense of humility ka, hindi yung ma-pride ka na,
Oo.
ni-insulto ko nito, because may parents na gano'n
Oo.
May parents na gano'n. So when I saw a doctor, and I saw two, David was diagnosed in the autism spectrum at 2.5, turning 3.
Oo.
DJ and I were broken, crying for roughly close to 2 weeks. That feeling of you're lost. Iyak kami ng iyak ni DJ. Una, sinabi ko, kasalanan ko to. Ako, blame. Because I had, may thyroid problem po ako, kaya ako pausin. I took radioactive iodine in my 20s. So I said, it's because I'm weak. I'm weak. Maybe because my body is weak, right? Kasalanan ko to. Or baka I was taking something, you know, hindi ko alam. Supplement, something na hindi pala dapat. Or kasalanan ko, hindi ako nag-breastfeed long enough. Something. Basta I blamed myself. But the minute parang, you know, because I've always prayed, parang I got out of it. Si Small introduced me to her principal in the school that had 2 kids with autism, and she treated them. Because there's no cure for autism.
Yes.
There's just a treatment to improve the behaviors. So right away, I dove into it, I researched, and I gave it my all.
Yeah.
Now, I do know that in the autism community, the mantra is unconditional love, accept your child for what and who they are. I agree, but I love David unconditionally, but I didn't want to leave him where he was.
Yeah.
Kasi madaming magulang na autistic yung anak nila, yan na yun. Tapos they'll spoil, ibigay, mayaya, or yung totoo, marami rin kasi po tayong mahirap na kababayan, hirap po na makakuha ng support.
Oo.
Totoo yun.
Oo.
But a lot of it, Casey, is education. It's such a revolutionary way to teach, which I do. I teach to parents in David's school, or when people reach out to me on Facebook, or I see parents personally and I give them a menu. So I teach them the science of food and how it can help and where they should go after that.
Yeah. Kasi, was it also a fear? Nung at that time, David wala pa
Yes.
wala pa si Lucas, diba? Was there fear also apparent na
For his future.
for his future?
Absolutely.
And if you go ahead,
If something happens to me and
Yes,
DJ,
yes.
what happens to David?
yes,
So, in that sense, I would have to say that God has been so good that David has really been pushed to his highest potential. That's the word I'll use. I would never expect my son to, be a typical child, right?
Yeah.
Hindi ko po yun i-compare sa isa kong anak. Parang napakasama po nun. Pero we praise him and we celebrate him for who he is today with the work that he has put
Yes.
in himself.
it's tremendous work.
It's a lot of discipline.
Let's talk about Lucas.
Yes.
Lucas, who has his own podcast, right? What's it called?
So, look forward.
Yeah,
L-U-C.
look forward.
Oo.
Okay, Lucas, we're enjoying him now. You're enjoying him now, right?
Yeah.
But konting panahon na lang yan.
Oo.
He's gonna go off to college soon. Is he gonna go here? Is he gonna go abroad? Whatever it is. How does it feel seeing Lucas grow his own wings
Yeah.
and continue to soar?
You know, interesting, no? Si David and Lucas po have a 6-year gap. Kasi yung totoo, ayoko ng mga anak noon because takot ako na kung ako po yung may problema, baka special po yung pangalawa kong anak. But the Lord made it so that after 6 years, I would get pregnant. And Lucas, I would have to say, is such a blessing and a joy in every single way. So siya po ang kuya ni David, baliktad po. Even if he's 6 years younger, he understands his role in David's life, that if something happens to us, which, Lord, please, I pray for old age, that David is family, even if he has his own family. That's one. And si Lucas po kasi ngayon, nasa international school po siya, so gusto po niya mag-abroad for college. And posible po, maybe sa Amerika or sa London, marami naman po tayong kababayan, di ba, na nag-a-abroad po. Pero right now, the only thing I tell Lucas is, all I ask you is, in everything you do, you have to have Christ with you. Nothing, all of this, nothing means anything if you do not have Christ with you. You won't survive abroad. Baka mapariwara ka. Alam mo yon. So, iba yung love that David needs, iba yung nurturing that Lucas needs.
Yeah. How would you define the season that you're in now? I mean, in the beginning, we talked about its growth, right? But this season, where you're at, how would you define it for yourself?
Wow, that's so beautiful, Casey. I think I'm in a season where I'd really like to find the real Karen Davila that God has made me to be. We grow differently through the years. Pero I love being a woman today. I feel my most beautiful today, physically and spiritually as well. I'm most secure today also because I'm older, and I want to be able to go out of myself today. So I think this season in my life is a season of joy. I'm really happy, a season of graciousness and gratefulness.
Talk to the women out there, Karen,
Yeah.
who maybe, listening to us, watching us. Talk to them about, because you've gone this far,
Yeah.
right? It's a journey, yes. There were ups
Yes.
and downs. But you say this is a season of growth, season of graciousness and gratefulness. Talk to the women out there who want the same for themselves, who want to be empowered, who want to pursue their dreams and their happiness,
Oo.
but are afraid to get lost while they're at it.
Alam po natin na marami sa atin tumutulong sa ating pamilya. So to the women out there na nag-aaral, ito, I always say this. Number one, wag niyo follow your dreams, not your boyfriend. Chase your dreams, not your boyfriend. Alam mo, when we're young, we look for our value in the men and the boyfriends who love us. We look for it elsewhere. Pero I'm telling you now, number one, pursue your dream. Huwag mo habulin ang boyfriend mo, number one. Number two, huwag ka magpapabuntis. Hindi po masama na magkaroon ng anak o pamilya, but I want to be practical. When you already have a child at a very young age, your child deserves already what you have not even built for yourself. The time you can give to growing yourself, nandun na yun sa bata. Right? So, palagi ko po yan sinasabi. Tapusin yung pag-aaral nyo. Grow yourself. Do everything you can to empower yourself. Alam mo, sinabi nga ni Priscilla Mireles sa interview na gusto ko to sabihin, kahit sa bahay kubo ka o sa mansyon ka nakatira, the pain is the same.
Oh, for sure.
Diba?
Oo.
So, sabihin ko rin yon, kahit sa bahay kubo ka nagsisimula or mahirap yung sobrang yaman, that's a big head start. But you're middle class, you're experiencing difficulties, focus first on your dreams. Focus on your dreams, diba? Yun muna. And for the women naman, eto na tayo. You're working. You don't want to lose yourself. Absolute women empowerment in the ideal world is for you to be able to choose what you want to do. Meaning, if you want to be a full-time housewife, do it.
Yes.
That's the ideal world. If you want to work full-time, not have children, do it, right? But the truth of the matter for many women is when they are not financially empowered, they have no power. So ako palagi ko ina-advise, love your husband, love your family, but also don't lose yourself by finding something for you. Whatever it may be, you don't have to be the breadwinner at home, but do something.
Do something for yourself.
Do something for yourself.
Show up for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Oo.
Show up for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, thank you for
Oh,
showing
thank
up for
you,
us.
Casey.
I mean,
It's such an honor to be interviewed by you.
Oh my goodness, stop.
Really.
It wasn't even an interview. We were just talking.
Chatting, yes.
Chatting, chica. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Karen Davila on Casey After Hours. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And that's it for another episode of Casey After Hours. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.